All right, welcome everyone to episode of Inside Hollywood with Vinny. He's a Louisiana movie film producer. He's a creative force. Let me start over. I feel like I'm. It's not coming out for. Let's do another take here.
All
Hold on.
right.
All right. All right, welcome everyone to episode Inside Hollywood with Vinny. Today, I'm going to bring to you a Louisiana movie producer, filmmaker. He's here to discuss his filmmaking journey and his two most recent releases, Southside Vengeance and My Side Piece, Full Body Massage. Sounds good already. Beyond filmmaker, he's also deeply committed to community outreach. He regularly uses his platform and production company to support local families and serve the underserved communities in his area and introduce young people to careers and opportunities within the film industry. His story is not only about producing movies, but also about building a meaningful legacy through creativity, service, and community impact. Join me in welcoming to the show, Dewey Allen. How you doing, Dewey?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm doing great, Vinny. It's beautiful outside. The Louisiana weather is great, and I'm doing fine.
Amen to that. And here it's a little rainy and dreary, but could be worse. Because let me tell you something, we had such a snowstorm this past winter that I don't ever want to relive ever again.
I know that's right. I know that.
But yeah, thanks for being on the show. Got a lot of great projects that you've worked on and are working on. Introduced to you through a mutual friend over at Indie Rights. Always a great company. I'm always a big fan over there. And so, without further ado, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a Louisiana native, Dewey Allen, and I basically started out with a camera from a pawn shop. So I always wanted to tell stories from my perspective, and I always the bad guy never wins. The bad guy always loses. So I was like, I want to write my own stories and stuff like that. And I started making stories like that with the bad guy winning and stuff. And then as my company grew and I started influencing a lot of people and kids and of that nature. So I realized now why the bad guy has to lose. I didn't want to create it to where that kids look up to me and stuff like that and think that's the way it's supposed to go. So I learned a lot as I began my film journey for us creating films and being a positive influence on kids and people in general, because a lot of people, they take to heart what characters that you bring to life. So I want to breathe real life into these characters and make sure I leave a positive impact on the community.
Yeah, well said. And you know what? I mean, a lot of people probably don't realize it, but us being in filmmaking, we understand it maybe a little better. Is it does have big impact because people watch a movie just like I did when I was little. I'm sure just like you did too, and you don't see that they're just characters. That someone this was out of somebody's imagination to you. They're like real people, and
Right.
so we tend to take movies a little too seriously when we're not really when we're kids especially. So it does matter when whatever we put out there does have a major impact.
That's right. That's right. And that influenced me a lot to make sure I'm putting positive energy into the ether,
Yeah.
per se. So and that's one aspect of me. Another aspect is I love doing community outreach. That's and getting involved with the community, letting them know that the film industry is here, uh, hiring different people, whether it's catering food or bringing interns on as grips or gaffers and other different areas of the production. So I do a lot of that, and it's really been a great driving force of what Dewey Allen is all about.
That's great. And there's a lot of people here in Philly that do a lot of community outreach. And it is important because you can change a person's life, whether it's through sports, whether it's through educational programs, whether it's filmmaking, which is also educational too. And
Right.
yeah, people start out just being a grip, like you said, or maybe they're just holding a boom or whatever the case may be, and they start getting a little itch and they like it, and you might change the course of somebody's life by doing it. So that's really awesome. I applaud you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's real rewarding, especially when somebody comes up to me and said, I'm the one who got them started into film industry. And I always tell them, you don't necessarily have to be rooted or loyal to my production company. Once I teach you, you could go out and expand yourself and start working on other different production companies and see how different producers work and things like that. So and start your career out of it. You know, go get your LLC and just start a career. So it's very positive and very I would say very impactful to me when someone comes up to me and tells me I started them out.
So you're a better man than me, Dewey, because I'm hard-headed Italian, man. I'm like, if you're with me for life. And that's it. There ain't no getting out. It's like the mob, man. You can't get out. But you're a better man than me. We have a saying too. Don't forget who brought you to the dance. You know, like don't forget. You know, so that's good that you like that because there's a lot of ego in this business. But it's good. It's good you're
Yeah.
showing a good example.
Right, right. Yeah, it's a lot of ego and loyalty is big, but you know, I'm like, don't just depend on me. I want you to go if I'm doing just say six films or and you could have been they could have been and done 12 films, you know, with not just relying on my film. So when they come back to my film, they already better. So that's how I look at it. Like you get on other films, and when you come back to me and I hire you for to do something on my film, you done learned and you got more experience. So that I kind of look at it like that.
It's a good idea because then they get a kind of a different experience. They learn some different tips or tricks, and that's actually a good strategy. That's a good idea. Now, why don't you tell us a little bit about your current projects? Tell us a little bit about them. Please, by all means, promote. Let's talk about some of the people involved.
Okay, so I have a new project that we're working on. It's in color right now, and it's in the last of sound production. It's called Do It Big. Do it big then. You know what I mean? Like we got 18 wheelers in the movie, we got boats in the movie. We got a lot of good things, good elements in the film. And I have some big actors in the film. I have Jamal Woolard in the film. I have McKeevia in the film from Detroit. Also, James Perkins is in the film. I have Diesel in the film, and I have Tristan in the film, and they are also from Detroit, and they're big, well-known actors. So I got a lot of good actors in there. The movie came out real great. It's looking real good, especially with that color slapped on there. And I can't wait for the audience to see this movie. It's different than what they usually see. Most of the time you see the same movie with different actors in there, but it's I like to do more creative uh thinking and imagining even when I'm writing and I'm putting together my film. So people will see that it's something different, but they're gonna really like it. And the audience that's our think tank that have watched the film from its rough stages to where it's at now, they're in awe. They can't just, they got to keep looking at it, you know. So, and I come from storytelling of I'm a real storyteller, so I don't like the audience to guess what's going to happen in my film, you know. So I take pride in that. Kind of like how Alfred Hitchcock was, you know, he'll write something and you know, you'll never guess all the way to the end. You know, it have a big twist or reveal at the end and stuff like that. So I write like that. So Do It Big is that through and through. And that's one of my projects. I also have another project that I'm putting my finishing touches on in the editing, because I do editing too, but I like to look at my films at the end and I might see a little, it might be something very small. The audience might not even know it, but I know it. So I want to go ahead and touch that myself and, you know, do something to it. So I got a film called Stab the Balloon. Uh, it's a thriller horror, and it's in the finishing, my finishing stage is what I call it. That one gonna come right after Do It Big, and we just got done finished filming Batty and the Beast. Uh, which is going to be a great thriller film also. So Yeah, I got some things in the pipeline, so that it's really it's a real exciting time right now over here at Dewey Allen Legacy Productions.
Yeah, and you're making it sound easy, which it's not. And then being a filmmaker, independent filmmaker myself, trust me out there, people watching this or listening to this, is not as easy as it seems, but it's possible. And just like Dewey said, you just got to put yourself to it. And you said some things that we're interested in as far as, using great actors is always a plus. And as you're starting out, sometimes you're just going to use some neighborhood people. You just want to feel your way around things, maybe some local talent. But then as you grow in the filmmaking business, you definitely want to make sure you're using some recognizable actors and people that have a little bit more experience. Of course, if you afford it and if, depending on your budget and everything, but if you can, that's key. And it definitely helps with distribution, I think, too. Also, the thriller genre is awesome, and that's something that is definitely, we're talking about the business side of things, is definitely more appealing. Horror thrillers are always a good sell. And another thing you said that I love and I agree with also is don't make your films predictable. I think, it's like if you're halfway through this movie and you know how it's going to end, it's not going to be compelling. So all good, all very good points, by the way. And now, for the person who's maybe, just beginner filmmaker, I always like to throw that question out there for those that watch this, but how did you actually get started? What made you finally cross the threshold of doing it?
What what when I crossed the threshold, the first film was very hard to make. You have to keep on going, and no matter what, you have to finish the film. A lot of filmmakers fail because they try to start off too big. They try to make their film look like a big $20 million, big $200 million budget movie. And if you got $5,000 or $10,000, then make the best $5,000 budget movie you can make. Make the best $10,000 budget movie you can make. So starting off, you gotta understand what your budget is. Do a lot of research. Do a lot of pre-production before you get before that camera cut on. You should have a lot of pre-production done and know your schedule back and forth. If you start off with your friends, your family as cast members, make them do table reads. It's gonna help your set move forward versus just getting out there and winging it. Because if you get out there and wing it, it's gonna look like you got out there and winged it. So you want to make sure they do their table reads and they are committed to the project as you. Spread your $5,000 around. Don't let one person take 4,000 of it and you got 1,000 left. Put your people together according to the budget that you have. So if you got one person eating up all your budget, it's gonna make your other people unhappy that's a part of the project. That why this person getting all of this and I don't even have, you're not even giving me gas money to get here. So budget accordingly to what you have and pre-plan, 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 pre-plan. So that'll be my advice to somebody that just starting out. And me, crossing that threshold was like I had to finish no matter what. From different computers that have to have the strength to edit. You're gonna come across a lot of obstacles, but each obstacle you gotta conquer to be able to get that finished product. Once you finish your first one, then you can understand what it took to finish the first one, so you'll know what it's gonna take to finish the second one. So I would say it took a lot to cross that threshold, but it's a great feeling once you do.
Yeah, I agree. My first project, I was like, I was just blessed. I had really good people around me to help guide me, hold my hand a little bit. But again, really shoestring. I don't always say shoestring budget. I say dental floss budget. And but we made it happen, man. Won 12 awards. I'm blessed. I'm happy about it. But as you said too, if you can, depending on the individual, you mentioned this earlier, it's good if you could try to edit your own stuff because what I noticed a lot of filmmakers, and it's happened to a lot of people, even myself, is that you wrote it, you produced it, you directed it. If you have an editor that doesn't really know what they're doing, something really good could turn out really bad, or vice
Right,
versa. Something that's like maybe not, it's half decent might turn out really good, but that editor is really important. And another thing about editors are, and the good ones are worth their weight in gold because
right,
you find someone who's just kind of like doing it like moonlighting or doing it like on the side. You may not see that film for months, maybe even years. So you just gotta be a little careful with who you choose for an editor.
right. And yes, you got to be very careful who you choose for an editor because also an editor could keep your footage too.
Yeah, there's a lot of little tricks that people may not, because a lot of people I think go in it with an honest heart and they don't really understand some of the things that may happen to them either intentionally or even unintentionally.
Right, right, exactly. So
So
that's a major thing. Your editor is very important. Now, if you can edit yourself, that's a bonus, or at least edit to where you have your product good enough to get it to an editor professionally. If you could even get it to a point your own self, that'll be good too if you have some kind of skill. So yeah, so I'm blessed to have a good to be able to know how to edit.
and with that being said, you got to wear a lot of hats as a
Yeah,
filmmaker. I mean, you got to wear a lot of hats. But again, you do it long enough, you start to build a crew. Maybe some of the people you realize, they may not be good in this role, but they might be good in a different role. So you find a good place for somebody. Some people, unfortunately, you got to cut them loose, and some people they stay with you for every production. So it's all one experience after the next, and trying to build a team. And with that being said, you've got about I think you're in the double digits, right, as far as productions that you've made and put out there.
yes, I have over 10 productions I have made and put out there. And I have good experience with distribution for us getting the projects out there, especially like with indie rights right now. I'm in a real good position with them.
Yeah, shout out to Lyndon Nelson and Michael Madison, great people out there. I got a hat they sent me. I got it around here somewhere, but they're sweet. I like interviewing their people because they're all true, big-hearted, devoted filmmakers, and I really enjoy speaking to them. And they really have and their voice is great. So with that, how does it feel? How did it feel when you first saw your production on TV distributed? How'd that make you feel?
Oh, it was a feeling of euphoria. Like it was when I first saw my film on my favorite streaming service and on TV. It was like wow, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I'm looking and I'm looking, and now I'm looking at it from a consumer perspective versus looking at it from a producer's perspective. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm watching it over and over and over, and then I'm just seeing what I could do to make the next production better. And I'm looking at it, and I'm also seeing that I'm glad I took that extra effort to get that extra shot that I wanted in the movie. So I always do that now. Like if it takes me another 2 days or something, and just something I see, it might be some trees. I remember one of the first films I did. It had some guys, they were sitting on the porch in the movie. So in the first one of the final edits, they were sitting there looking, but it went on to something else in the movie. So I wanted my audience to see what they was looking at. So, and I want them to know, my audience to know that they living in a rural area. So I went out and grabbed my own camera, and I went and filmed some trees, to show what they looking at. And I went and put that in the movie and edited in there. And now every time I sit and watch that movie, I'm proud of myself that I did that because it just makes the movie better to me. Now the audience might not, but it's just something. It's something about seeing that film on that screen, especially the first time. And each time I produce a film, they get better and better. And I still have that moment of that same feeling comes back to me when I watch it on the screen.
It's a beautiful feeling, man. It really is, especially when you go to a premiere and everybody's all excited and dressed up. And it's a beautiful feeling. It really is.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, it's real good, man. And I want all my filmmakers to get to that point to finish your film to where you could have that feeling as well.
Yeah, listen, now's the time. I keep saying it in every episode, it seems like, but now is the time for the independent filmmaker. Now it's hot. It's people are doing it. A lot of people are out there that want to just work on a film, sometimes just for experience or credit, sometimes just even nominal amount of money. Like it's not like it used to be. It's gotten easier, but at the same time, it's gotten more competitive. So, you got to just
Right.
make sure you do your due diligence, but don't take too time trying to study the art. You just got to jump in and play the game.
That's right. You got to jump in the game,
Yeah.
jump in the game, and finish.
That's it. A lot of people can't. Hey, listen, a lot of people can't get to there and make it a film in itself. It's there forever. It's part of your legacy. It's a life-changing thing, and you could always say, "Hey, I did it." So it's very rewarding in a lot of different ways. So, all right, well, listen, we're going to have all the links for those watching or listening. We're going to have links where you can follow Dewey. Make sure, as I say all the time, and you better be listening to me out there, make sure that we support. We leave good
Right.
reviews because reviews matter big time, all right? And we subscribe, we follow, we do everything necessary to support our filmmakers. And of course, follow me, please. I appreciate it. And also, just a quick thing. Anything else you want to mention? I mean, I want to have links, but why don't you tell everybody where they can find you? Nice and easy.
All right, so you definitely can find me on Facebook. I do most of my damage on Facebook. Uh, you go to Facebook, look up Dewey Allen, and I have movie producer up under my name. You'll see me on there. And you'll see me always posting casting calls on there. I communicate through Messenger. I communicate through Messenger more than I would through a text message. Uh, so find me on there. You also can find me on Instagram, the real Dewey Allen. You'll find me there. So those where I do my damage at. Facebook first and then Instagram. So if you want to find me, that's how you find me. You message me, I'm gonna respond back. Sometime if I don't respond right back, I might be filming or I might be in the editing booth or doing something else, but that's how you get to me.
And I want to encourage everybody to do that, whether you're in the Louisiana area or even anywhere, because the world's gotten smaller these days with social media. So get in touch with Dewey. Maybe you want to collaborate, maybe you want to invest, or maybe you just want to partner up with something, or even just be a fan. So I encourage all of you to please support Dewey. If I can ever help with script consultation or production, I'm always available. Everybody knows that. And until next time, any final words for the crowd out there, Dewey?
Well, I would say my final words is that, I love creating opportunity for people, hiring and developing talent, especially, unserved talent. It's a lot of Louisiana talent that haven't been seen. So I love giving Louisiana opportunity. But I do business everywhere all over the United States. And it's just so wonderful for me to sit here and talk to the audience and let y'all know that the industry is here and Dewey Allen Legacy Productions is here. I'm coming out, I'm rooting, tooting, shooting, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, I love y'all to death. So check out my films. Hey, look, I'm with Vinny. Can't get no better than this, baby.
Ah, man, I love the way you said that. I'm gonna have to use that on one of my reels.
That's what I'm talking about.
But Louisiana, not only do I love your food, I love your filmmakers. So again, my guest has been the amazing, talented Dewey Allen of Dewey Allen Legacy Productions. Check him out, support. Until next time, you're watching Inside Hollywood with Vinny. See you again soon.
Yeah.